Friends, hello everyone. My name is Jenya Panasyuk, and I travel to uninhabited islands in search of new adventures. For some viewers of my channel, the beginning of this video will already be familiar. But for certain reasons, this season was cut short. But I have good news, and I finally managed to regain access to the filmed material. Enjoy watching. And I'm heading off to live on a new uninhabited island. On the map, I found a new uninhabited island. Using the internet and technology, I remotely studied it a bit. And I assumed that it could be something new and very interesting. I jump into the boat and set off in search of this island. Well, friends, the long-awaited moment has come when I once again set out in search of new adventures, a new country, a new completely uninhabited island where I have never been before. The climate here is different, drier. The island's terrain is more rocky. During the day there is scorching sun, and in the evening it is quite cool. The conditions are completely different. I really hope that on this island I will be able to find at least a small sandy bay where I can set up my camp more comfortably. In general, I am staying optimistic, and you wish me luck. On our way, the ship's captain took a spool of fishing line with hooks attached to it. And on the way to my island, he wasted no time and started fishing. He threw the rig into the water and simply held the line in his hand, jerking it while moving. This way, he managed to catch some small mackerel, which he shared with me. A few hours later, I saw the island on the horizon. There is already some kind of beach area, which is good. I circled the island to study it carefully. Once again, I made sure that this island is indeed completely uninhabited. There was not a single house on it. Now I need to choose the most convenient and interesting place where I can land and set up my camp. Well, friends, I have arrived. The most important things are fishing gear and spearfishing equipment. But friends, I'll say right away, there is no beautiful coral reef in these parts, at least not in this bay. The bottom is more sandy, but on the other hand, it is much easier to get to shore from the boat. This place is not very good for fishing and spearfishing yet, although the water is as warm as milk. It's far to the shore, but that's part of the deal. Well, island, here I come. Yes, cool. Not a single footprint, only my first steps. Trash as usual, lots of plastic. Alright, first I'll walk along the shore. See where it makes sense to set up my camp. I always lower my expectations a bit, meaning I was expecting slightly worse conditions. This will come in handy. Coconut husk is dry. It's the best tinder for starting a fire without matches or a lighter. So all these useful things we will collect right away. I will need them. Yes, I expected it to be worse. I thought the beach area would be minimal. Yes, I am exploring the shore to find good shade where I can set up camp. Not too deep in the bushes because, look friends, the thickets there are really dense, right? In general, now I will choose something interesting and start setting up. Well, it's very shallow here. Very shallow for fishing and spearfishing. This of course is not good, but I will try to swim out beyond this sandbar to the coral reef and see what's there. Maybe there will be good spearfishing. We'll see how it goes. Friends, as is tradition, I start my island adventure on day one with an iron nail. Well, damn, what a bummer. Seriously. Crap. What a start to the day. Damn, friends. Lucky, just barely. Still hurts though. I try to be careful. But no matter how hard you try, something always happens. Something you can't even expect or anticipate. You always have to stay alert. And how do you like this tree? To hang a hammock here and set up camp. The only thing I immediately want to note is that there are a lot of cicadas on its branches. Do you hear the sound? Quite the alarm clock. Let's see, if it doesn't disturb me at night, then I think I can set up my camp there. I'm considering another spot. I went a little deeper into the shade And I'm thinking, there's a lot of vegetation here, and I'm like, not bad. I look under my feet to make sure there are no crabs here because they crawl around at night and that really interferes with sleep. I took a couple of steps and suddenly a snake slithered away right under my feet. Green, tree-dwelling, small. Very small, but kind of feisty. If it bites, it will hurt a little. Venomous. Yeah, venomous. It's more afraid of me than I am of it. But the main thing is just not to step on such snakes and everything will be fine. The main thing is that the waves don't rise at night. If the waves aren't big, they won't disturb my sleep. And then right on the ocean shore, just above the water, it will be beautiful. So, let's give it a try there. If anything, I'll move the camp further away from the water later. The climate on this island was very hot and dry. The scorching sun simply didn't allow me to set up my camp. I constantly needed to hide in the shade. Friends, the sun here is just insane. It's extremely hot. My surfer friends made me this special zinc for surfing that doesn't wash off with water, based on coffee. It smells just like coffee beans. I'll apply it, friends, because I'll burn very quickly. The sun is extremely strong. If I don't put it on, the rest of my time on the island will be spent somewhere over there under a tree in the shade. Getting sunburned is exactly what I don't want. I've been through this many times, so I need to protect myself. And here, the climate is just abnormally hot. Everything is dry, scorched. I feel like in a couple of days I'll look the same. Did I apply it well under my eyes, my nose? The color is weird, but it is what it is. And overall, staying in the sun is very harmful. The high radiation, the solar exposure is extremely bad for health. And with my lifestyle, friends, you understand. A hat on my head and let's get to work. Time to set up my island. First of all, I need to set up camp. That means hanging up my hammock and setting up my tarp. Somewhere I also have a new piece of gear from Delicacy. Now I have this ultra-light mosquito net. Delicacy, thank you very much. First, I'll secure my hammock. It needs to be stretched well for a comfortable sleep at night. Friends, this is probably the most beautiful place I've ever set up my hammock. Alright, now let's install the mosquito net on the hammock. Just look how fine the mesh is. That's good. Even the tiniest bug won't get in at night. In the evening and at night, it will protect me from mosquitoes and sandflies. And now it's time to set up the tarp, which will shield me from the scorching sun and possible rain. But I don't expect rain. Here, in these parts, rain is almost non-existent. Using ropes and stakes, I secured it from the right side. The camp is set up. Perfect, friends, just perfect. Now it's time to cook the fish caught by the captain. I don't have a fridge, and in this heat the fish will spoil very quickly. So I won't waste time and will cook it right away. I won't be able to stretch it out for long. It just needs to be cooked now and eaten as much as possible. Whatever gets lightly smoked might last until morning, but I won't count on that. I rely on my own skills, as always. I'll try to catch something interesting, something tasty. But in any case, thanks to the ship's captain for this treat, let's say. Here's the fish we have. Let's go make a fire and cook it. To start a fire, I'll need dry grass. small dry twigs, and some bigger branches. I'll cut one fish into pieces and use it as bait for primitive fishing, because this mackerel is more than enough for one meal. I know that fishermen in Turkey used to do it like this. They salted fish meat and chicken meat. It would shrink, become dry, tougher. First of all, in extreme heat, it didn't spoil as fast. And secondly, it sat better on the hook. Let's try to do the same. I will sacrifice one mackerel for bait. Let it just salt and dry here in the open sun. I'll make a grill. For this, I need stones. I laid them in a circle and stacked the firewood inside like a teepee. Now it's time to make fire. For this, I will need palm bark, a stone, and a steel plate. I make a few strikes and get a spark. Now I transfer this spark to dry grass and blow it into a flame. We have fire. All I needed was a piece of steel plate, a stone found on the island, and dry palm bark. While my fire burns and good embers form, I will take a knife, split a bamboo fragment, and make small skewers on which I will grill my fish. The fish is small, so it will cook very quickly over the fire. The main thing is to turn it over in time. And literally in just 10 minutes, the fish was ready. And now it's time for lunch. So, the fish is fried. Added a little salt. Last season, everyone wrote, "Jeka, take salt with you. The stingray will be tastier." This time I brought salt. I will cook with it. It saved me time. Otherwise, I'd be diving underwater, catching fish for myself. For once, it got a little easier for me. Now this is a different matter. I'll add some lime. For mackerel, lime is just perfect. Mackerel tastes very similar to tuna. They belong to the same fish family. Just a mini tuna, I would say. Actually, its meat is quite lean, which I don't particularly like. I prefer fatty fish. But right now, this meat is incredibly delicious. Plus, I salted it. Plus, it's grilled over embers. And also with lime. Everything I need. Yes, the fish that was less fried is incredibly juicy and tasty. The fish is small, so it doesn't need to be grilled for long. But first, the embers are big. Second, the stick burned through, and the fish fell into the embers. And third, I'm not just grilling fish, I'm also filming, running back and forth. So I get distracted. I get distracted and might miss the moment when such a small fish is already cooked. Aha! So tasty. Look what I found. This is a lure for squid fishing. And for complete comfort and coziness in my camp, I need a small pot, a frying pan, and this very important element, friends, this is an LED strip or a solar-powered diode strip. It will charge in the sun, and at night I will attach it above the hammock, and I will have cozy lighting. So, who watches my channel? Who knows what this is? Who knows what this is? A very beautiful little souvenir, right? Write your guesses in the comments under the video. Friends, I also found two more things. Coconuts fell from a palm tree. Look, look. Let's open them and see what's inside. Waves have been washing coconuts onto the shore of this island. I will collect them. This is my source of fresh water, and it's also a good signal. A signal that there may be coconut palms on this island or on a nearby island. I will definitely need to study this. So I found something useful. 2 large bamboo fragments, a big rope, and some kind of net. I'll come back here. This will be useful to me. But now it's time to test my skills. I took a mask and snorkel, put on my spearfishing gear, and grabbed my spear gun, and I dived underwater. So far, I haven't seen any big fish. In the distance, I saw a large turtle swimming by, but I immediately noticed that this island has a lot of big edible mollusks, like giant clams. Wherever you look, they grow everywhere here. And this mollusk is very rare here, and it is considered a delicacy. And here on the coral, I saw a giant clam, but I couldn't just pull it off. And here's another big mollusk. It looks very similar to a giant clam, but it was something else. Since I don't know what kind of mollusk this is, I will leave it alone. And here on the coral, I saw a giant clam. I put the spear gun on safety and set it aside. I will need both hands, and I also took a knife to pry it a little. I applied some force and pulled out the giant clam. Look at the size of it. I put in all my effort and managed to get another big giant clam. Wow, beautiful. Look at this meaty one. What a luck. What a fortune. Cool. I love Tridacna. This food will definitely be enough for the evening. Time to head back to shore. Friends, I see something moving on the horizon. At first, I thought some kind of cat ended up here. But then I looked closer. It's monkeys. And that means I need to be careful, because they can easily steal my equipment. I wouldn't even know where it disappeared. I managed to set up a very comfortable camp, but something is still missing. Yes, my portable shower. A very simple yet useful thing. With it, it's very convenient to wash dishes, wash my face, rinse off sand, and clean my hands. I found a suitable spot for it right next to my tent. Now I'll gather some dry firewood and make a fire. Time to cook the shellfish. Since I don't have a fridge, I kept the shellfish just in the water near my camp. A very big and juicy Tridacna. There should be plenty of meat in it. Glad I took a big pot. Not sure if I'll catch a crab to cook in it. But these shellfish, I will definitely cook in it. A very delicious delicacy. I've praised it 100 times in my videos, but lately, I haven't been coming across them. I decided to cook them in the pot. And of course, I'll use seawater for that. I put the pot with water on the fire. Let the water boil. I think 10 minutes will be enough. They'll steam perfectly, just like mussels in wine sauce. I'll have to crack it open. The meat is left inside the pot. Maybe the shellfish is the same way. Look, it's completely empty here. What a patty. This is from the smaller tridacna. Very tasty. Damn, I don't know. It's very hard to describe its aroma. The tastiest shellfish I've ever eaten. Honestly, it's somewhat similar to a mussel, but more like those marinated mussels in jars, not the pure natural boiled mussel, but the one with seasonings and flavor enhancers, and this one has that taste naturally. By the way, the meat is tough. Very delicious, honestly, as if it has some kind of flavor enhancer. I don't know, it's hard to describe. You have to try it, friends. This shellfish is also considered a delicacy, a rather rare shellfish. And it's very rare to find one large enough to take and cook. I don't know how to get it out. I'll have to break the shell. This is the meaty foot you get from this shellfish. Disposed of the waste. Even like this. The meat is tender and sweet. Yes, the taste is interesting, with a sweet aftertaste and softer texture than tridacna. Tridacna has these lips, these colorful parts. They are soft, tasty, and juicy. But inside, there's a strong, firm foot. It's also meaty, but tough. And here, the structure of the whole body is the same. Firm, but just right. In terms of consistency, it's somewhere close to squid, I guess. Not like tridacna, not like squid. A sweet, salty seafood. Glad I cooked it in seawater. The flavor unfolds perfectly, just as it should. Friends, these are two delicacies. Two delicacies that cost a lot in restaurants, and I have the chance to just dive in, catch them, and cook them myself over a fire. I decided to take a walk before bed, see what's happening in the water at night, what's going on along the shore. These funny, very fast little crabs, and in the water, fish are splashing so much that some even jump onto the surface. This time, I wanted to take a cast net and throw it. I saw how the locals fish. They do it beautifully, very interestingly, but not very effectively. But I still wanted to try, but I couldn't find my cast net. I was already about to go to sleep. I was very tired from the day, but at the last moment, I pushed myself, put on my spearfishing gear, and finally decided to go night spearfishing. Because at night, the most unexpected and interesting things happen underwater. Sometimes at night, I manage to encounter sea creatures that I would never see during the day. Sometimes I manage to catch some unexpectedly big prey. Or to see a giant stingray, but this time at night I encountered this big turtle. I've already had a good dive. Now, with a clear conscience, I can return to the shore and go to sleep. I still have some mackerel left, a few pieces. It needs to be eaten. I'm worried that it won't last until morning. It's smoked, cooked over coals. It should last until morning. But I'm already counting on catching my own prey tomorrow, so I need to eat as much fish as possible. How do you like my lighting? Does it add coziness, or is it unnecessary? Maybe it ruins the atmosphere of the uninhabited island. Write your opinion in the comments under the video, because some people want minimalism, while others say, Jeka, it's time to expand, improve the camp, make it more comfortable, it will be more interesting, something new. So write your opinion. Is it better when I upgrade the camp, or should I stick to minimalism? I had a very filling meal. Today was a very eventful day. The journey was long, and by the time I reached the island, I was very exhausted. Then I set up my camp, caught my prey, and cooked it. During all this time, I spent a lot of strength and energy, so I'm very tired. It's time to go to sleep. Day 2. Good morning, friends. To be honest, I slept very badly last night. First of all, it was extremely hot. And secondly, very early in the morning, the cicadas woke up and their sound will replace my alarm clock for the entire period of my survival on this island. Overall, I feel okay. The only thing is that my head feels kind of square, probably from overheating in the sun. While exploring the island, I picked up a stick to drive away all the poisonous creatures in my path. Look, here's a small little oasis, a fragment of the tropics. There are palm trees here and some kind of spiky thing. Yeah, I remember when I was on my very first uninhabited island in Cambodia, I also used this thing to build my shelter. Friends, there are vines growing here too. Above these things, there are also vines. Look, over there. Also a decent building material. Well, someone is definitely crawling around here. Look, you can see that some animal has dug holes here, searching for food. Or maybe turtles have left their nest here too. So it's better not to step on this area. I'm leaving. Oh, the heat is unbearable. Damn, it's so hot here. Let's watch our step because there could be those planks with nails again. A lot of ocean trash has washed up on the shore. Fragments of different structures, and there are nails. Oh, friends, there's some kind of riverbed here. Look, what if it's fresh water? What if it's a source of fresh water? But then again, friends, this is a new island. This is a different region. There could be crocodiles here. We need to be careful. What do you think, friends? Is this fresh water, or does the ocean flow in during high tide? Well, of course, this kind of water doesn't really make me want to drink it, but in any case, I have a filter with me, but this is still water. If it were flowing water, then yes, it could be considered for drinking. But this completely still water is very risky. Oh, friends. Oh, is this by any chance friends? This looks a lot like burrows of swamp crabs. Giant swamp crabs. I really hope these monsters are here. What if I get lucky? It's dirty, of course. A lot of trash. Well, yeah, that happens. That happens, friends. Friends, there's no one here to clean up the trash. There's only me. You can't even imagine, friends, how many boats I would need to clean up even a little bit of this island. It's beyond one person's ability. Usually, I clean up the area where I set up camp, at least to have it clean around me, and to bring at least some minimal benefit to the island. But physically, like Jeka, clean up all the trash on the island. I would love to, friends, but for that, I'd need, I don't know, a month and a couple of boats to haul all of this away. I physically can't do it alone, unfortunately, but I'll try something. So, There are definitely mangrove crabs here. That red-purple crab, I've caught them before in my videos. So, we're definitely setting crab traps, friends. But I really hope that the big swamp crabs are here too. I would really like to catch a giant one, you know, like in Australia. Wow, look what I found. Damn, what a pity. There was a very big shell, but it's already broken. It's interesting here, friends. Different terrain, different climate. I'm sure the underwater world will be very different too. Let's see. Very interesting. I love exploring new places. Oh, friends, what a find. Look. It's a fishing net, a big one. A fishing net, really, quite large. Damn, I don't know, this is for big fish. I'd like to find a smaller net. It would be good if it were a little smaller in diameter so that I could catch small reef fish. But still, friends, I'll try to untangle a few meters here and use it. Let's try to set it up. I probably haven't dealt with nets since childhood. But let's try. Let's try to set it up. Maybe this can provide me with some additional food source. Alright, I found another place with water. Are there crabs here or not? Some fish is hiding here. An interesting swamp. Well, are there any animal tracks or not? Oh, there are rocks, friends. An interesting place. Look, damn, the terrain here is completely different. Alright, I'm walking through the middle of the swamp. I might get stuck here. Rushing in boldly. There are rocks here, look. Interesting place. And where there are rocks, there are crabs. For sure. Yes, I can already see it. There are burrows dug under the rocks. Most likely crabs are hiding there. Maybe small ones, or maybe big ones. Interesting place. What do you think about this spot for setting up camp? The only thing I don't like is that it's a swamp. Not very comfortable sitting in the swamps. I wouldn't be surprised if mosquitoes attack here at night too. Let's go closer to the ocean. Oh, the sun is scorching here, friends. I'll walk just to the end of the bay, and then I'll have to hide in some clothes. I'll put zinc on my face, because the sun here is relentless, just relentless. Very hot, very dry. I think you can tell by the grass, friends, that the climate here is not very humid. Alright, rocks. Rocks in the water are a good sign. Why? Because in such places, squids often swim in the evening. I really hope that during high tide, the water level will rise at least a little more. And here, among the rocks, I'll be able to hunt squids with a spear. But what worries me, friends, is that the high tide phase is already here, but the water level is very low. The water will rise, I don't know, maybe by a meter, and that's it. That's not enough, but at night, the high tide phase will be much stronger. When the moon is out, magnetic pull will be stronger, and the water level will rise more at night. During the day, the difference between high and low tide is very small. Well, friends, time flies so fast. Back and forth, and it's already noon. I haven't had time to do anything yet. And time here needs to be spent as productively as possible. It can't be wasted. First of all, I need to set up comfort, catch some food, and make a fire. Since yesterday, I have one cooked tridacna left. It's a kind of giant mollusk. It's edible and actually quite tasty. A few embers were still smoldering in my fire from the night. With their help, I reignited my fire. I want to boil water and make tea. There's a great lookout spot here. Perfect for keeping an eye out, in case a shark or stingray swims up to the shore. Right from the hammock, grab the spear and go. From the ship, I took a few limes with me to the island, to add some variety to the taste of fish, and generally to the seafood I catch. But this morning, I decided to use a few slices to brew them in water and make a kind of tea alternative. Alright, well, it's time to get the giant tridacna. Powerful. That's what it looks like. And here's the muscle that held the whole shell together. The muscle is tough, but tasty. Here it is, a fly, or from here. The tastiest part here is these lips. I know, friends, that through the screens it doesn't look very appetizing, but when you're really hungry, you look at this mollusk very differently. And sometimes you just have no other choice. To wash the pot, I use sand. I scrub it well with sand and just rinse it in seawater. And now there are 2 such plates left. My lime tea is ready. It's better than nothing. This is the hottest of all the islands I have ever been to. I wouldn't want to spend most of the day hiding from the scorching sun, so I will stretch another tarp between the trees and make a shelter. This will be a storage or workshop. Throughout the day under this tarp, I will be able to create my hunting tools, store extra firewood and dry grass, keep my catch, as well as hide my equipment and belongings. On the tree near the tarp, I made a small drying rack for my wet clothes. After improving and expanding my camp a little, having a snack and drinking lime tea, I decided to go spearfishing. Friends, nothing helps. The sun here is just brutal. Just insane. Even through this thermal wear, it burns through. I've already gotten sunburned under my shirt. It's like a desert. This is the hottest island I have ever been to. Here, yes, the main issue is not food, but water. If it weren't for the fresh water, I would have croaked here already. Well, unless I had to collect from that swamp and filter it, but I highly doubt the safety of that water. It's just stagnant swamp water full of bacteria and parasites, and despite my filter, I'd probably get more harm than benefit from drinking it. I'm not counting on rain, so I use my water reserve. But I was warned right away that it's unbearably hot here, and that water would be a problem, so I took a reserve with me. Well, friends, let's do this. If this episode gets 18,000 likes in a day, then in the next episode, I will catch those giant crabs and cook them over the fire. Maximum level of protection. In the past 6 months, I have traveled tens of thousands of kilometers. And unfortunately, when I travel, I had to disassemble my favorite spear. Now I'll explain why. In full size, carrying it around and flying with it is very difficult. So all I have left is the rubber band and the tip. Now I need to find something suitable that I can use as a handle to restore my spear and start hunting. But this time with a spear. I will search along the shore. There's a lot of bamboo washed up. I just need to find one of the right size and thickness, because mostly there are either huge logs or super thin bamboo. I need to find something in between, the golden middle. This will come in handy. Friends, this is just the perfect piece. Look. First, it's straight. Second, it's exactly the right length. The only thing is I need to trim a little to improve the aerodynamics. And it's a little too thin on this side. I won't be able to screw the tip in here. I wouldn't want to cut it because then it would be too short. Right now the length is just right. I'll stretch the rubber around here and it will be the perfect spear. But if I cut off one segment here to screw the spear tip inside the bamboo, then it will be too short. Look, this would be a short spear. I'd prefer it to be longer. One option is to flip it and screw the tip into the thicker part, yes, and load and shoot from this side. That way, the balance seems fine, but I've tried this before. First, when the rubber is stretched, this part deforms a lot. Second, due to the heavy metal tip and the thick bamboo, this part becomes very unbalanced underwater. So after all, it would be better to somehow secure the tip on this side. Here, it will be more rigid under tension and the spear's hydrodynamics and balance underwater will be perfect. I don't know, I'll figure something out. Maybe attach it to the side somehow, but I'd prefer it inside. Or split it, insert the tip, and tie it with something. I'll probably put the tip at the back because otherwise I'd have to cut the spear a lot. Let's try it this way first, and if needed, I'll switch sides. The only thing I still forgot is that the bamboo on the fire needs to be straightened. Take a look. Can you see it? It's quite crooked. The bamboo needs to be heated and the spear straightened to perfection. Here, with the help of a knife, I need to make a hole through both sides and thread the string and rubber band through, securing it at the end of the spear. To make the hole in the spear, I'll use the awl that's in my knife. The spear definitely needs to be straightened on the fire, because its crooked shape will make it deviate from the trajectory, and we don't want that. Got it, friends. I've made the hole, threaded the rope through the spear, and I believe the rubber band is in place. Now I just need to tie it all on this side and it's done. Then I just need to straighten the bamboo and voila! Look, like this. To straighten the bamboo, I used coconut husk. I lit it and placed the bamboo in it to heat it up and then straighten it. It works. When you're busy with the process on the island, time flies very quickly. I haven't managed to do much, and the sun is already setting. I'll take the spear, friends. While the sun is still up, I'll walk along the shore. I'll check the low tide spots, maybe there's something interesting. Then I'll head to the mangrove bushes. I'll check there, because I still want to catch a snake and make snake soup. And I'll also check the bushes for crabs. Have they woken up or not? But I think I'll wait until the sun sets completely. In about an hour, I'll go crab hunting. I need to test the spear in action. I walked to the mangrove bushes, and there were many monkeys, but as soon as I approach, they hide. They hide over there in the bushes, watching me. When I move away, they come back. I wonder, has the water level risen here, friends, or not? Oh, it's so muddy here. There's a lot of trash. So, what do we have here? Are there any crabs? No crabs here. That was a lazy hunt. I went out to the rocks, bombarded the crabs, went, cooked, and ate everything. There's no such luck here. Friends, I remind you, the more likes the video gets, the harder and more interesting the bonus mission will be. And if the video gets 20,000 likes in one day, I'll take the spear, dive under the water, and catch squids. This time, during the low tide, I didn't catch anything with the spear. And that means it's time for Plan B. Wait for it to get dark, grab the gear for underwater hunting. Take the spear, dive under the water, and catch some food. Every time on a new, uninhabited island, it's time for the night hunt, and I'll tell you honestly, it's always very scary. I don't know the terrain here, and I don't know what underwater night creatures might be waiting for me. The only thing I know for sure is that the sea predators go hunting at night, including me. I swam and looked carefully around. First of all, I was very curious to see if there were any sharks here. There definitely are, but I mean, do they swim in my bay? Suddenly, a small squid swam into the light of my flashlight, and when I looked closer, there were several of them. And that's a good sign. That means I'll be hunting squids on this island. As soon as I swam up to one of them and extended my hand, it swiftly swam away, leaving only a cloud of ink in front of me. That's how it defends itself from a predator's attack. Friends, look, there's a beautiful blue starfish under the water. At a shallow depth near the bottom, a small fish was swimming. I aimed with the spear and made a shot, but the fish was faster. I couldn't catch anything. I was very disappointed and returned to camp. Friends, if you like this island and would like to see the continuation, make sure to let me know in the comments under the video. Jekka, test yourself in survival conditions on this island. And of course, if you like this episode, only in that case, give a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss new episodes, share this video with your friends, and see you next time. Good night, friends.